Hello friends, I welcome you all in the series of BSE IPF and we are talking and discussing the economic survey. We have discussed so far about the various things which are included in the economic survey. Whenever we are talking about the economy or the economy of any country, we should understand there are two policies in the country or in the system. One is the credit and monetary policy run and managed by the central bank of our country, and the central bank of our country is Reserve Bank of India, and the other policy is fiscal policy run and managed by government of our country, or the North Block one can say. Both the policies are designed or the structured in such a way that everyone tries to reduce the inflation of the system. Once the inflation is in control, then rupee can be appreciated, or one can work on the crediting of the country. Then if the credit rating is good and if the investments is coming, FIIs and the foreign currency is coming to our country, then definitely there will be a liquidity and which will give a push to the growth of the country. So when we say that what about inflation, and we have discussed about the inflation inside the country and the international levels of the international level of inflation also. So we discussed about the food, the impact of food and the impact of fuel on the inflation. Let us try to see the other angle towards the inflation excluding food and fuel. Now before we continue, one should understand all these sessions are coming to you by the BSE, IPF and SEBI, so don't forget to say them thanks before this after this session, because they took this initiative. When we say that inflation in excluding without food and fuel, inflation excluding food and fuel moderated from 2018-19 levels to an average of 4% in 2019-20, with a historic low of 3.4% in October 19. We have seen the reasons for it, that the first H1, the H1 of 1920, we are right now in a 2021, but when we say about the 1920, the first H1 of the 1920, there was initially the ease in inflation and then the deflation till October November, but after October to up to January February, there was a spike in the inflation or the spike in numbers, maybe because of food, kharif and rabi, and maybe because of the fuel uncertainties. There was a spike up approximately January February, but after February March, again due to the pandemic or the COVID fear, there was again fall in that. So we have seen we have seen this roadmap, or we have seen this kind of graph when it comes to inflation, and one should understand that some hardening occurring during the November January 2020 due to the price of personal care and effects and transport and communication subgroups, reflecting increasing gold prices. We have also seen the increasing gold price, that we have touched the 50,000 plus mark in the gold, because whenever there are uncertainties, the asset class gets changed from one asset class to the other asset class, and the money have come to gold also. Subsequently, sharp fall in transport and communication price in February March, back of easing international crude oil prices and falling domestic air passenger traffic led to the moderation during February March 2020. Just because of corona, there was this fear. Housing inflation moderated to 4.5%, reflecting the waning of the impact of the increase in housing rent allowance for the central government employees under the 7th Pay Commission award, a historic low of 3.7%. And finally, the net of housing inflation excluding food and fuel averaged to 3.9% in 1920, down to 5.6% a year ago. So, which is again, there was a lesser number. Clothing and footwear inflation eased to 1%. This is the driver of CPI excluding food and fuel, who all are there: housing, other transport, education, health, clothing, pan, tobacco. So all these numbers, one can see it here, that all these numbers have seen such kind of mark, that September October downfall, and from again up to January December the upfall, and again the downfall. So this was the situation of the inflation in our country excluding food and fuel. But this is again the downside was there due to the corona and the pandemic. Once the pandemic is over, definitely there will be again upside mark in the economy also, and there will be a demand, consumption, everything. So whenever the investor is coming to the market, then come there for at least 8 to 10 years, have the long term horizon. Thank you very much for liking our session. All the sessions are coming to a BSE, and SEBI, so don't forget to say them thanks. Also, you need to write your name along with the email address in the comment section, and the same topic is there in Marathi and Hindi. One can check out the YouTube channel for that. Thank you very much. Stay tuned.